All right, welcome back to the second walk and talk then since I returned. And it is extremely, look at my eyes watering already. It is extremely windy today, but we are on the beach, going for a lovely walk down the beach here. So we've got lots of news today. We're going to get back into all the exciting and weird news from around the world. But firstly, I just wanted to say thank you for all of your comments and all of your support. Thank you to all the Patreons, but thank you to all of you really for being a subscriber here. And I think I'm probably the only YouTuber I ever know that took a break for 5 weeks, came back to 8,000 additional subscribers, which is unheard of really. So that's great. Thank you for all the new subscribers as well. I only got a few hours of sleep last night because I just could not sleep with all the amount of editing I'm doing on this stocks course and everything else. So I thought, you know what, let me just get it all done so that I'm not saying on every video, oh, it's almost ready, because it'll probably be ready in the next sort of 1 to 2 weeks now, because it's almost edited. I might just do a soft launch with it, but we are almost ready to go. But I wanted to start with some more serious news, and then we'll go on to some of the, the weird and wonderful news from around the world. I've got a good one for you about mealworms. Yeah, wait until we get onto this one. But let's get on to some more serious news then. Well, just this last week was the Notting Hill Carnival. It just returned to London after a long break. And that was crazy. If you've seen these scenes, intense what happened. Hundreds of arrests. It's like almost 40 police officers injured with everything going on. And one police horse died. When someone told me about the officers, I felt more concerned, for the horse that died, because I do like horses. I think that's really sad that a horse died during the carnival. But there was all sorts of things that happened at the carnival. Assaults, loads of assaults. Someone was murdered as well. I almost said how, can't say that on YouTube. Someone was murdered at the carnival. It's like absolutely crazy. Oh, the wind is blowing my shirt collar all over the place. But what else happened then? Well, there was some other assaults, the usual. We know what kind of assaults at the carnival. So not a great start for the first carnival back after the long break. But let's move over then to what's just happened with India. So India has just joined in with Russian war games. Yeah, you're not going to hear that very much on the news media. So who else is involved in these war games? Let me read them out. China, Laos, which is in Southeast Asia, Mongolia next to Russia, Nicaragua, so South America, Syria and Tajikistan. I did say the Stan countries would get involved like this. And we're seeing a lot of other things with Iran and the BRICS nations and their new currency and all this stuff that we've been talking about on the channel for a couple of years. I thought it would take years for a lot of this stuff to actually happen, but it's happening very, very quickly, much faster than I even anticipated. And I've got to tell you this one. This is a really good one. Let me see if I wrote it down. Yes, I did, but it's hard to read the paper because the wind is so strong. All right, so the UK government, check this out, I'm going to put it on screen, has just put out a tender. So they are requesting £75 million up to £250 million worth of rations, mainly emergency rations. So these are called single meal rations and ESR. I think that stands for emergency survival rations, as well as 10-man rations, 24-hour cold climate rations. Now, you've got to think, why would they be asking for a company to produce cold climate rations? Take a think about that one, and I'll give you the answers another time. But we are having a lot of crazy stuff now. Actually, I'm going to turn around here and walk back. We're having a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. Think about what's happening in Jackson, Mississippi. This is the USA, by the way, most developed country on the planet. For the last month, they've been told to boil their water. They've got no access to clean water. 200,000 residents. Now, of course, that pales in comparison to what's going on in Pakistan, where I'm sure all of our hearts go out to those people. Absolutely tragic what's going on over there. And I mentioned this, how people are saying, oh, there's no water anywhere, there's a huge drought. No, there's a lot of water over there, way too much. They would happily send away a lot of that water, I'm sure. Another strange development over the last week is that the Pope has just requested that all Vatican entities, is probably the best way to describe it, return all the money to the Vatican bank in the next month. So the deadline is the 30th of September. So all of this money has got to be returned. So for the Catholic organizations, it's all within the same remit. But if they're managing their money or looking after it elsewhere, they have to return it to the Vatican bank by the 30th of September. Now, there's a lot of speculation around this, and I've heard all sorts of rumors and theories, everything from, oh, the Pope knows that there's going to be a massive financial crash and he wants all the money in that bank, all the way through to, oh, there's no reason for it, it's just tactical, they just want to move the money back. Maybe. I don't know why he would just want to move the money for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So I don't think that's the case. There's obviously a reason behind it. And I personally think it's just to clean up a lot of the problems that have been going on over the last decade. There's been a lot of financial scandals. It's kept out of the media quite well. But I think that's probably the reason for it. It's just to clean up a lot of these issues. But who knows? Maybe it could be that he knows something that we don't. Obviously, he has a lot of sway, influence, and power, and he would know way before anyone else if there was something suspicious going on with global finances. And I think we all know that there is a problem with the global banking system. You'd be naive to think that there wasn't any issues at all with global finance. You only have to look at the risk ratings of a lot of the commercial banks, and it's not looking good at all. Why do you think they've passed bail-in law? Because it's going to be a get-out-of-jail-free card for a lot of these banks. Another point I wanted to come on to, because I've taken a lot of heat this week and a few emails which were quite amusing, by well-wishing people, but people that are misinformed. And they were talking about how I've made comments saying that the gas and the energy problems are nothing to do with Russia. And specifically, I'm talking about the UK here. So I just wanted to bring up a statistic, or riddle me this, we could say. If you think about Germany, that were getting 55% of their gas from Russia last year, and the UK were getting 5%, or even let's look at France, who were getting just over 20% of their gas from Germany, and then you had the UK getting 5%. Well, it's actually a reversal. So France's energy bills are only up by a few percent, it's nothing major, versus the UK, whose energy bills are up over 200%. So when you think of it like that, and Germany, again, nowhere near the UK. So when you look at it from that point of view, how can one country, which is completely reliant on Russian gas, have smaller rises, but then you have a country like the UK, which gets almost none of its gas or energy from Russia, and that's being blamed on Russia? It doesn't make any sense, guys. But look, I appreciate all the comments and the emails and whatever else I keep getting. But as soon as I see an email title with that now, or when my office says to me, oh, you just got these emails, I don't even read them. I've stopped reading them because people just don't understand. Oh, well, BBC News says, so what? BBC News, goodness me, if you're relying on that as your news source, you got bigger problems. Talking of big problems, there's a YouTuber that I used to watch years ago, Tech, her name's iJustine. She's got over 7 million subscribers. And I saw an article just this week about her on, I think it was Today, and it was crazy. So this girl, super fit, super healthy, but was taken to hospital. So this article is all about how 5 months, it said she was bedridden, all these problems. And I was like, what? How can she be? She's super fit and healthy. What's going on? Well, let me just read out a couple of points from this article. Bedridden, sister had to brush her hair, brush her teeth for her. The result was blood clots, deep vein thrombosis, and thoracic outlet syndrome. Here we go. Why is it that we keep hearing this all the time? I mean, all the time. Where is all of this coming from? I'm not going to say it, but it's just, to me, it seems some common sense. And again, I'm not doing a vax, anti-vax thing. But I'm just saying that people should really be addressing this now. This should be being questioned, spoken about. figuring out what is going on here. They should be doing investigations now to find out, okay, what are the studies saying? What are all these injuries saying? Why was just recently there was a marathon on? I've never heard of 100 people being taken to hospital in ambulance before. There's like a lot of problems going on with heart attacks and strokes and blood clots and all sorts of things at the moment. And I think that all this censorship around it should be dropped, and at least I mean, how many years on now? It's ridiculous. We need to start talking about this stuff. But I really do hope that her health recovers, because she has made some good videos in the past, despite being a Joe Biden lover or whatever she said on that video once, that I was like, oh, no, Justine, no. But apart from that, you know, she has made some good videos, so I do think it's a shame. Because to me, I think it's pretty obvious what has caused this and what's causing this, and all these young, very healthy, fit, and quite brilliant people, actually. Okay, so I said I'd come on to the weird stuff now, so let's get on to the weird stuff. Number one, have you seen, well, you probably haven't in the media, how many men have started, celebrities, wearing skirts and dresses now and performing and all this? What is going on? I mean, weird. Sorry, but that is super weird. I don't know why this is happening and what's going on with this. But I want to get on to the main one, the main weird story, and that's worm burgers. Let me sit down here, actually. Let me grab a seat. Right, I've got to read this out for you, because this is weird. Worm burgers could solve world hunger, scientists claim. You see, they always have to put that on there. Scientists claim, or expert claims, or, you know, they'll use the word professor or something like that. They have to put that on there to validate it, because otherwise you would look at it and go, what? Worms? No thank you. So they say scientists claim. Now let me read the next statement. Mealworms could be next on your plate, but don't worry, it's good for the environment. But wait, there's more. But that's not all. Worms have been shown to have medical benefits. Earlier this year, scientists discovered worms could detect lung cancer. It's like, how does that make any relevance or connection to grinding up worms and making a burger? Because the other article they're referring to here is that they had live worms that could detect cancer. Well, what's that got to do? They're completely different worms, nothing to do with mealworms. It's like, it's so strange with some of the things. Right, and I found some crazy comments actually on another article. And this is obviously some pretty intense, weird people. So let's have a look here. If people won't eat them by choice, we'll have to treat them like babies. We'll grind it up and put them in the food. Yeah, what a surprise that they're going to do that. Are you really surprised by that statement? Because I'm not. It's so strange when I go from different countries to different countries and I see the ingredients on some food products. Just as an example, if you look at, say, ketchup in the USA and then you look at ketchup in the UK, you can have the same company, and in the UK it might have 4 ingredients, but in the USA it might have 20 ingredients. Because the UK, they're going the way of America. They don't allow all this crap and a lot of chemicals, although we're seeing this now with these artificial sweeteners, which I said from day one, do not touch them, and I would never touch artificial sweeteners. Now I know tons of my audience consume artificial sweeteners. Loads of you do it because you think it's better than sugar. I don't think so, and I've said this from the start, and now we're seeing all these studies coming out, which is absolutely atrocious. You should read some of these studies. Let me just say, as we're coming to the end of this video, after this video, look at some of these studies on artificial sweeteners, and you might second guess that and go back to having a little bit of sugar, or try and cut out the sugar entirely. I'm no saint, believe me. I have a bit of sugar every day. I like a bit of honey in my tea. But would I ever have an artificial sweetener all day long? Not for me. Thank you very much. I think I'll pass. But on that note, have a fantastic weekend. I've got a really busy weekend of work and editing, but my course is almost ready. You are gonna love it. I honestly think it's gonna be the best stock market course you ever see in your life. So many people keep telling me how much they're spending on brokers and all these platforms and stuff. Huge sums of money when you do not need to be doing all that. So coming soon, let's just say that. All right, I'm gonna stand here. You can look at the sea behind me now. Beautiful, beautiful. A little bit overcast today, and windy, but still warm. still t-shirt or light shirt weather. All right, take care. God bless. I'll see you next week.